Hello and welcome to yet another episode of our special 91 Reasons side podcast. We decided to go into what some people say is the darkest alley of the internet, but to me it's the brightest.
The outer fringes of the internet.
Yes.
The Mos Eisley cantina of the internet, if you will.
That is the perfect way to describe it.
Yes. If the internet is a vast galaxy that is Star Wars, then Homestuck is the cantina.
Absolutely.
Where everybody's welcomed, nobody's judged, and you can charter a flight from here to what used to be Yavin for just, 20,000 credits, right?
It's a great deal.
Robots. They're tin cans that can't feel emotions.
You're droids. They're not welcome here. Everybody's welcome but you. But there's the Homestuck robot, right?
Yeah.
Who's the robot guy?
Johnny Five.
Where was the cosplay? Did we see it in live? Was it live or on the internet?
Bot you're talking about.
Did we see it live or on the internet? I don't remember.
In live. That was Shifty Look.
Shifty Look. All right.
The Dirk bot with the voice changer.
I am your host. I am the voice of 91 Reasons. I am Jeff Tucker. I am joined by the resident 91 Reasons Homestuck experts. As seen, as heralded, as world famous, according to one guy on Reddit. And who are you guys?
Austin?
I'm Luna.
And together we are going to be your continuing guide into the outer fringes of the cantina, where today we're going to talk about Star Wars and fan fiction Star Wars.
And Phantom Menace.
Phantom
Menace.
We're going to spend like 2 or 3 hours on Phantom Menace. Don't look at the running time of the episode. We're going to fold it in on itself. So even though the running time may be a little over an hour, it's 3 hours of Phantom Menace goodness.
And I really wanted to talk about some of my sips and the character development. I feel like even though Sebulba is just a grumpy alien guy, he has a deep heart and an inner soul underneath that text of his. That
I'm gonna ship Sebulba with the food monger guy, the guy who's like, "You didn't pay for that. You have to pay for that."
Yes, he'll be the perfect match. They will be the ultimate OTP.
That's right. Well, seriously though, you the resident Homestuck experts are very excited, and if this was, well, I'll put it honestly. If this was a regular show, like if this was a sitcom and I was the dad and you were the two kids and you came home and you were like, "Dad," and I would go, "Yes, son," and then the audience would laugh for some reason because like on Big Bang Theory, they laugh at everything. "Yes, son," you guys would come in and you go, "I got a date," and I'd go, "Oh, that's so exciting. Are you finally taking Susie to the dance?" And Austin would go, "No. A date for the Homestuck game to come out," and the audience would go, "Ah!" So we're talking about you guys got a date. A date for what?
Hive Swap.
Hive Swap has a tentative release date.
Mm-hmm. Finally, it is mid-May.
It's mid-May. It was announced to press people at GDC last weekend. And there's no big news post as of yet. So it looks like Hussey's saving the general public to have the knowledge until either interviews come out from GDC or 413 when he'll probably write a giant news post about it. But from what we've seen of the interview that's out so far, which is in Italian, it is a mid-May release.
We also got a lot of more details in the game that I'm sure you all, if you haven't seen the interview yet or still the translation.
A lot of the fan base hasn't heard of it because it's like one comment on Reddit he was able to translate it. Thank you.
Translate it from what?
It was an Italian IGN interview.
Well, let me tell you, we're gonna make the Hive Swap again. Well, sit down. Let's go to Olive Garden, and we'll talk about it's a Homestuck game. It's like suddenly Mario's talking to. And who did he interview?
They were just talking. We don't know.
Okay.
There's not much there's no exact translation yet. Just general gist of things. They're just talking to the camera with their Scalemate plushie they got from everyone they interviewed got a free Scalemate.
Are you guys jealous?
Yeah.
Was it the one we've seen for sale or a different version?
They had the new blue one.
Oh yeah.
They handed out all the colors. The Italian guy was lucky enough to get the new one.
It's Buzz Lightyear with a new belt. I could sure use one of those.
And they actually did a thing where they had Hive Swap passwords every hour or so, and if you found the what pumpkin person inside the password, you would get a free Scalemate.
Yes.
And those passwords give away more plot details that not a lot of people don't know about yet.
Okay, so I'm going to extrapolate as the outsider and say the reason that password got you a Scalemate, which is a tangible item that someone had to order, pay for, ship, and have. Why wouldn't they just give him a, I don't know, beta login? Why wouldn't you give a beta login? I know, because it ain't ready. It ain't ready.
They called it a GDC demo, so there was some sort of playable or video from the
No,
that we haven't seen yet.
footage, or it doesn't count. I'm calling Kevin Pereira shenanigans on this, man.
It's supposed to be more interviews coming out, hopefully not in Italian. But here, you want to know what we learned?
Yeah, speak it, brother. Let's go.
The first thing we learned was from the password system. So the passwords were
Joey,
Alternia, Troll, and then the two that were a little weird. One was Jude. The password was Jude.
Hey, Jude.
Exactly. Which is it's a 4-letter word, so it's probably a Homestuck name, and it's probably Joey's brother. Because Hussey's doing some whole thing where all main characters start with the letter J. We have John and Jane and Joey, and now we have Jude, who's probably her brother.
but I think it sounds too much like Jade.
Mm-hmm. It sounds a lot like Jade, yeah.
Yeah, too
Jude
similar.
and Jade, there must be some sort of connection between the two characters. They wouldn't make them one letter difference. And looking at the characters, the names flipped kind of make more sense. The girl looks more like of a Jude, and the kid looks like a little Joey kid.
Do we have confirmation that there's
The gifts
the
from
gifts.
the February release. No, the gifts were earlier. The
No,
February.
no, those gifts are from the Odd
the
Gentleman.
October release.
Oh, okay.
It was the October release that it had a picture of Joey with her log that confirmed her chat color and her name.
Okay.
And then the last password was a really weird one. Prongle.
Prongle.
Prongle. Prongle. Prongle.
What
I don't know
is
what
a
it
prongle?
means. It sounds like some sort of troll biology term.
Yeah.
It's also 7 letters long, so it could be a human last name.
You guys never watched, there was an old show in the 70s called The Electric Company. It was a PBS show on after Sesame Street. It was like for older kids. And they'd have two shadow faces that would pronounce words. They would go, ongle, prongle. That's all I can think of when you say it. Because it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Prongle?
Prongle.
Is he channeling Harry Potter? Like prongs?
Some people have said maybe it's just troll Pringles.
Like chips?
Yeah, like chips.
It'd be funny if it was you guys are spending all this time thinking like it's something really serious, and it turns out that it's just troll potato chips. It's just prongles.
It's Pahoy all over again.
Yeah, Pahoy from Adventure Time.
People theorized for months on what Pahoy was, and it was just some greeting. It didn't mean anything.
Yeah, so sometimes it means nothing.
Mm.
I'm reminded of finding Return of the Jedi figures in the store 3 weeks before the movie came out and being, oh my God. And I picked like the coolest character because I knew like this guy's going to be a major character in the movie. He's got a cool face. He's got a gun and a cape. And I knew Squidhead was going to be like a main guy. He's in the background. Like I saw the movie and I'm like, I had the figure with me and I'm like, I didn't even see him. And that's what Prongle is going to be.
Prongle.
It's going to be nothing.
It's some inside joke at the studio. And
Yeah, it's like like Gonk or R2D2.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something that they thought of that's funny, and you and I will go, great, dude, thanks.
And then in the Italian interview, there were some really weird leaks about the game. What we don't know 100% because the translation isn't complete. But apparently, there's going to be a troll version of Twitter and a troll version of Amazon. Amazon will act as the in-game shop to buy items, and troll Twitter will be all the characters from the game, and depending on the choices you make and how you interact with them, it'll affect what they post on Twitter. And that kind of hints at multiple endings and stuff. If you can have decisions, it'll change the outlook of the game.
And after playing To Be or To Not To Be, which Hussey wrote part of, I wouldn't see why he wouldn't do the same thing.
Yeah, well, it's just Bard Quest.
Oh yeah.
Well, Bard Quest.
Nobody talks about Bard Quests.
I'm talking about Bard Quest right now.
No,
There you go. Let it be said, Bard Quest. Bard Quest is good.
no one listening knows what Bard Quest is.
Quiet. But anyways, troll Twitter and troll Amazon are things. And apparently, making decisions to change the ending of the game is a thing.
And you can interact with the characters. It
Yeah.
almost sounds like he's not going to create any canon sips, and because he knows the fandom loves sipping so much, he's going to create a system where anything can be canon with multiple
Yeah.
endings. And that's what he did with Namco High, actually, more recently.
Yeah.
His dating simulator.
Which he didn't write anything for.
Yeah,
He
but
just commanded people.
the idea of it, I don't see why he wouldn't incorporate it into Hive Swap.
Mm-hmm.
I find it fascinating that you guys are extrapolating so much into the game, and my hope is that it lives up.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hope. But how many things really live up to their expectations? You know, a lot of movies you see are never as good as the trailer. Now there are obviously huge exceptions where we've gone to see a movie and it's been, you know, fantastic and stellar. So we'll hold out that Hive Swap will deliver all the gameplay that you think it needs. The worry is that, like, when did the Kickstarter launch for this game?
2012.
Late 2012.
So 3 years later, you're still waiting for the game, still waiting for any kind of gameplay, video, or anything.
A few screenshots that are pre-rendered.
And the fear, obviously, is that it's finally going to come out. He's buckled down, and God bless him for buckling down. Because, again, remember on Kickstarter, there's no guarantee they're actually going to get the project. But with 2 million plus, the guy he's got enough dough to deliver the game and make good on his promises. And the worry is simply that, what if it's, you know, a 5-hour game?
Yeah.
What if there's only minimal amount of gameplay and then it's over?
We know
because
that.
it's
It
4
will have.
parts long. So it'll probably be 5 to 6 hours apart if you go for all the secrets. So then you get a, with Easter eggs counting, 25 to 30 hour game.
Well, to me, 25 to 30 hours is appropriate.
Yeah.
That's a very rich, involved game.
But
no, I'm telling you,
we
man.
won't get that till next summer.
Yeah, I know, because you're going to get part 1, 5 to 6 hours, and it's going to end on some cliffhanger, because that's what he does. And when is part 2 scheduled?
Indefinite, who knows?
Oh.
They haven't started work on that yet. Part 1 they started work on last August. And this is how long it takes from making a part to it being
Yeah,
out.
but
Hussey
once you have the assets in place,
It becomes a lot easier.
it's a lot easier, right? And to gear up and just continue.
And with back in August, he had different game studio, and he had to start from scratch.
Yeah, he said he
around in
didn't have
October.
computers yet. He put them together from absolutely nothing to a fully completed game from August to May.
It'd be great if April 1st he releases Hive Swap and it's simply Pong and the paddles have horns and the little ball is an asteroid and every time you hit it makes a Nicolas Cage
Oh God!
and like he goes, that's it, and you're like, you son of a gun. Then you realize that it's April Fool's, and that's because the internet goes nuts on April Fool's. Has there ever been a Homestuck April Fool's joke?
Not by Hussey, no.
No, but by other
A
people.
lot of the stuff. I think some of the art team did stuff every now and then, but never from Hussey himself.
He said do something.
Yeah, he has a whole. His main character is Prankster.
We love Fine might do something.
They did last year CS:GO.
They did the CS:GO tactical scarf, which was brilliant. I thought it was real.
CS:GO, which is Valve's one serious game, their real army game. They have all their goofy games that Wheel of Fine makes outfits for. They came out with the whole CS:GO fashion line, and they're like, that never saw the light
Right.
of day.
The problem with those April Fool internet jokes is that sometimes they're so square on with what you want that you get really angry that it's not real. At least ThinkGeek
ThinkGeek does
makes
it.
the things a reality. The Tauntaun sleeping bag became a reality, you know. But so many times you're like, there was one that you were really. Oh, it was the Star Wars figures. Old school done new style.
That was about 5 years ago.
I think it was longer than that.
It was a long time ago. And Rebel Scum
In a galaxy far, far away.
RebelScum.com had this thing on the side of the website where they would have rumors towards new figures. And a lot of they would say they're Rebel spies that reported stuff. And a lot of the time the leaks were surprisingly true, so it was a believable source. And then they got in this line called the Vintage Throwback Figures, I believe is what they were called, something like that. And they had it there for months, and I kept waiting, and I'm like, the title's so mysterious. What does it mean? This one has to be weird just because the title's so weird. It's not just like new wave of Star Wars figures. Like, it's a full thing. And then in April Fool's, they finally revealed it, and it was fake. and I fell for it so much.
Oh, I know, because your mom called me at work and said, Austin's jumping around the house. He can't believe it. And these figures are coming out. I went to look at him, and it's like any typical April Fool's joke on the internet. It looks just like the site's other content. So it was so believable that I had to take a step back, and I looked at the date, and I said, oh, I have to make the phone call and let Austin know this is fake. So hopefully, I mean, we don't want this Hive Swap thing to be fake with all this buildup, but there's always a chance, you know.
Something's got to happen.
Yeah, well, the game has to come out mid-May, May 15th. So does Steam have a general day they release games on, or is it just any day of the week?
Any day, but
it's not like Tuesday, like DVDs and Blu-rays.
Any day the developer wants, but generally it's on the store with a countdown a few days before it goes up.
So you're hoping like May 10th or May 12th, there will be a Hive Swap countdown, and you'll purchase it.
The best thing would be to see it on green light on like the 13th. That's where you put it on green light, and Valve gives you a special okay if it gets enough votes that you get to be like featured on Steam and stuff.
I don't think it's going to be on green light.
No, to be or not to be, skipped right to it because it was already a developer that made Valve games.
Yeah.
Since what pumpkins a new studio, they might have to go through green light.
But they were also at GDC.
Yeah.
And they were talking.
Well, we don't even know if it's going to be on Steam. They haven't said yet.
And Hussey has had phone calls with
He
Valve.
said it's going to be Mac, PC, and Linux. I don't know any other site that could hold them all.
No, unless he
does it himself.
No, Steam is the obvious partner. He can't. It's not going to be available on like iTunes or Amazon.
Yeah.
Those people are so big, and his cut of the profits would be way too small. I know from my book sales that I wrote the book, I edited the book, it was my idea, and every time I sell one, Amazon gets over 60% of the profit.
Yeah.
So that would not be a good platform.
Steam
but
takes almost nothing from you.
Steam
they
wants
don't need
it.
Your money.
Yeah.
They just need your game.
Well, they want your game, and then like Austin's going to have nothing but in-game horn selling and trading and a whole system. Is there anything that you think is going to be in the game that's going to be like a property like you do with those hats?
The only thing we can hope for, and this has been talked about for years now, ever since the Kickstarter came out, and back when it came out in 2012, he said Steam was the most viable option that he would release it on. So we've already known since 2012 that he wanted Steam. And it's always been a discussion that they were going to make Homestuck Team Fortress promos. Because it fits the game, and as far as we can tell, Valve likes Homestuck from the references they've made. So maybe it could happen. Maybe.
If those Binding of Isaac horns actually made it in, then yes.
Yeah, the Binding of Isaac guy made a small indie game, and he made all-class horns for your characters to wear. And he made a bunch of other prototypes. They weren't very well made, a few of them, but the horns looked nice, and Valve actually accepted them in. Mm-hmm. He literally just modeled them from scratch, sent them to Valve, and said, hey, I have a game, can you put this in for it?
Yeah.
And Valve did it.
How much was the Namco High Homestuck add-on? Well, we start with how much was the game, and then how much was the add-on?
Now, Amco High was free to play.
Free to play.
And you bought characters individually for what?
$4.99.
$4.99. $4.99 for the pack?
No.
They're only $1 or $2 each, right?
I think they were $3, I want to say.
I don't remember.
They were expensive.
It's hard because none of that stuff's archived. There's no refreshing your
The
memory
Homestuck
for
characters,
that.
I think, was a $15. No, you had to spend $20 and get everything, get them as a bonus.
Yeah, the Homestucks were a bonus as part of the Mega Pack.
And that's not even around anymore, right? That
No.
was shut down.
It's shut down. You can't even go to the website anymore. It's all gone.
That's so crazy because I remember when it came out. That was why we were at Shifty Look. Was he was doing the promotional tour for Namco High, and that's what he was signing, even though he was still drawing Homestuck for you guys. When it was launched, you played it, right?
I played what was free, and I watched the Homestuck stuff. It was okay.
Because I know you guys asked for it, and before I could make the the decision to purchase all that stuff, it was gone. How long was it active?
About 6 months, but about 3 to 4 months too, he already announced it would be shut down.
Why?
So.
Why did they shut it down? Have we talked about this before?
A little bit.
Why would they go to all this trouble and to get a booth at the Hilton like that? The whole area was not cheap. Shifty Look rented the whole thing,
Yeah.
which last year was rented by Walking Dead. So imagine what the cost was. They rented it all. They had all those booths to promote Adventure Time games, but mostly Namco High and Namco products. And then they launch it, and it's dead.
Shifty Look was all through Namco, and Namco just said, Shifty Look has done what it needs to do. It's over. You guys can leave.
And what exactly was Shifty Look?
Someone who works at Namco proposed an idea of let's get in with the young teens by having a website of web comics and interactive games. So they got together a group of comic artists, mostly Homestuck artists and Adventure Time artists, and did a Katamari comic and a Galaga comic and a Dig Dug comic.
And Namco High.
And then Namco High was a big game to bring all the stories together.
So let me ask you this. You're talking about a company saying, "Hey, we're gonna go out and we're gonna purchase all this intellectual property that's creator owned, that's small, that's fringe, and package it all up in a marketable, high tech, expensive way." Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that goes against why you like that stuff. Whose dumb idea was that to begin with? You like Homestuck because it's not mainstream. What would you do? I mean, we've talked about it. If you walked into Hot Topic at the mall and instead of Harley Quinn and Frozen and Doctor Who, it was Homestuck, you'd be really excited at first, and then it would die off.
It'd be a little too much.
Yeah, but that's what they do. They launch immediately with everything. It's not a slow build anymore.
Yeah.
Although I'm being proven wrong because there's only one Homestuck shirt that's really commercially available because What Pumpkin and what's the other one? We Love Fine. Those are niche. You got to go out and seek those out. They don't have a spot at the Garden Town Mall the way Hot Topic does.
That's mostly just Hussey being Hussey. He still has Homestuck as his only job, so he has to keep all of the merchandise in house to make the most money. I'm sure once Homestuck's done and gone, he's moved on to something else, he'll sell it off.
Right, no, I get that.
He's already started to with the game and the Wheel of Fine.
Right, and there's something to be said about him selling a T-shirt and making $4 versus what's a big property that's got people involved? Because it's funny because Doctor Who, Frozen, Harry Potter. I'm looking in my mind at Hot Topic.
Attack on Titan, so much.
Those are all owned by big ass companies.
Yeah,
not
there's no individual people.
Not creator stuff. My Little Pony's owned by Hasbro. Those are all giant. I mean, you can't even imagine how big Warner Brothers and Hasbro is. But being Puppy Cat or Bravest Warriors, those are smaller niche things, right?
They're medium size.
Medium size, right? There's somebody involved in that. So you just have to decide, if Bravest Warriors or Homestuck, you say, look, we're going to sell in a given week 100 T-shirts, and we're going to make $4 off each T-shirt. We're going to make $400 a week, right? But if we launch it in the same manner as Harley Quinn or Divergent or Hunger Games, because if you look at Hunger Games, yes, it's a massive company, but Suzanne Collins is still getting most of that money, right? You have to decide, is selling 10,000 shirts and making 40 cents a shirt in the long run going to help you out? Because what's going to happen is, and you see it with Hunger Games, is yes, she's making tons of dough the first 3 weeks, and then the stuff's clearanced out. Nobody wants it. So then she goes to making a nickel a shirt. So I get he's trying to preserve it. You want to preserve it. I have a thing that I say about my book, and that's if you treat it like prestige, it is prestige because it's all about perception, right? I could go on and make my book $4 if I wanted to, or whatever the minimum is for my page count. It's probably more like 12. But I make it 20 because my book is just as good as anybody else's book. Homestuck is just as good as Adventure Time. Homestuck is just as good as Bravest Warriors or Supernatural or all the other majorly trademarked licenses that are out there. So perception is everything. So Hussey's very acute and very astute at keeping it not only prestige, but more importantly for you guys, outsider. The outsider cred, it's worth its weight in gold because if he's living comfortably at the manor he wants to live to, he doesn't want to live in a McMansion. He's okay going to Taco Bell and riding around with his friends and never having to punch a time clock, then that's the measure of success.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because not only has he got enough money to live comfortably, not crazy, but comfortably, but also for your soul, your product remains intended for the audiences that it is intended for.
Yeah.
And that's the outsider kids, the outsider friends who don't feel like Olaf singing about summer is what they're feeling inside. And instead it's Carcat
But yeah.
or Vriska, right?
But as Homestuck's growing to a close, he obviously wants to end it this year or at least by next April. That's his goal, it looks like. He's finally losing that feeling, and he's starting to sell out a lot more. We
Right,
find
and-
it stocked with everything.
And
now.
that's completely normal because Star Wars, if we go back to the model of any kind of licensing, you go back to Star Wars. Star Wars started out, Lucas wanted it to be niche. He wanted to make high-end cookie jars and drinking mugs. The first things to come out were the Darth Vader and Ben Kenobi Steins. The toys came out long after that. And for a long while, Lucas kept his promise and things were kept really low-key. I mean, when Star Wars as a licensing property died off in 1985, it was a killer combo of no movie and Masters of the Universe that killed it, and Transformers on the way. Star Wars died out, and then there were just these little things put out. Oh, that's cool. Oh, there's a book coming out. Oh, like Homestuck, there's a book coming out. Or you go to a convention, they got a few exclusive T-shirts and stuff, and you're like, oh, this is really cool. And then boom, 1997, the re-release of Star Wars. The writing is on the wall. Lucas is like, look, I need this money to make the prequels, right? And by the time Revenge of the Sith and Clone Wars and all that other crap, you can tell, just like Hussey, he's looking to get out. And what do you do before you get out?
Sell out.
You make as much money as you can. And then you merchant. I'm going to sound like what's his name, Ian Malcolm. You were so worried about whether you could do it, you didn't think about if you should do it. And you stood on the shoulders of geniuses, and you used research that wasn't yours, and you're going to patent it. You're going to slap it on a lunchbox, and you're going to sell it. You're going to sell it. There it is. But listen. I forgot where I was going. I got so wrapped up in Jurassic Park.
I just watched Jurassic Park, and I haven't seen it in years. I saw it when I was really little, and I'm with the T-Rex scene. And I'm like, oh, it's a movie about dinosaurs. And now I've rewatched it, and I'm like, well, it's a movie about copyrights and selling out, and how they're not only creating life, but more importantly, they're marketing life. And that's the thought behind the movie.
Dude, the plot of Jurassic Park is this guy clones dinosaurs and everything would be fine if his idiot son didn't steal the embryos to sell to the other guy so the other guy can open a zoo.
Yeah.
It's not about cloning dinosaurs. That's peripherally what it's about.
They even have sots, like the one of the sots is it zooms through the gift shop when the park's destroyed. It shows all the plussies on the ground.
And the brilliance of that is all of that stuff was available when the movie came out.
It was at Will merchandise.
It's the ultimate. I mean, that's taking Spaceballs two levels up. When yogurt shows off the gift shop, you're like, oh, quite funny. And then when John Hammond shows you the gift shop, you're like, oh my God, I'm being marketed to. All of that stuff is, the lunchbox is front and center right there. And every kid of that year, 1993, carried a Jurassic Park lunchbox. Absolutely. The logo that they used for the movie was the logo for the products.
And that was on purpose.
Of course it was on purpose. So if Hussey is John Hammond, Hussey is Hammond, spared no expense.
He's got a big staff with Serenity on the end.
Serenity in the end.
Yeah, so
Amber.
yeah, he's gonna get this game out. He's hopefully, my fingers are crossed, he's going to fulfill his promise to the fandom. Because what do we learn from Galaxy Quest? Never disappoint your fans, because they may save your life if you're ever transported to another galaxy and you need to know the schematics of the Starship Enterprise, the USS Intrepid. You know what I'm saying? You should never upset the fans. So if the fans pay you for a game, you better deliver that game. So if this is Hussey's last hurrah with Homestuck, then what's your opinion? Does he ride off into the sunset able to say, look, I did it, I'm done, I'm out, I move on to the next thing? Or is it like, no, like Lucas, stay with it until it's dead?
Well,
He's doing a bit of both. It looks like when the comic ends, he's saying it's done. There's no more comic.
No,
you guys
not
can leave
exactly,
now.
yeah.
But then with the game, he's like, oh, by the way, there's 8 games planned, and we're What Pumpkin Studios company. We can make as much video games as we want.
well, he said that when Homestuck first started, he says on his blog that he says, it might last a year, I might ditch it, it might not do well. And he's admitted the moment he realized Homestuck was a powerful property is when he started selling the Zodiac T-shirts and realized how wanted they were and how much people really wanted this stuff.
Yeah.
So he knows Homestuck's a powerful license, and he says he doesn't want to kill the Homestuck franchise as a whole. Yes, he wants to end the webcomic. He really wants to. Now he can't, but he really wants to.
His plan is to finish the comic so he can say it is a finished, complete thing. And then he's going to market it for money, so he can have his money. And then he's going to do the games as a way of saying, oh, I still write Homestuck, feels like the good old days.
And don't forget Paradox Space, which eventually is going to get like 6 updates a day
Yeah,
constantly.
he said his plan for Paradox Space when it first started was to get it up to 4 to 6 pages a day of real canon material. So far, we've only had about a year of goofy stuff because that's all he's had the budget for.
Because each page, he said, is about $100, right?
Yeah, he pays the artist. He pays the artists who do it by the page, and it's $100 to $200 a page.
And he buys each page so he can merchandise them?
I think he owns the full rights. If they wanted to make a book, he could, which he wants to, but he hasn't been able to.
And how come they haven't made Paradox Space prints and T-shirts?
There's a few prints.
Those are just by
There's
the
no
same
t-shirts
artist. So
yet.
there's no actual. There's the T-print, and that's it.
One. So which was a print first, then a comic.
Yeah. And then of course we had that Scalemate comic, which is the opposite, and that was a comic made to sell a toy. And I think we should talk about that.
Right. Oh yeah. The new Scalemate came out, the blue one. Paradox Space the next day. It was a comic about Scalemates.
And it
about
was the blue
blue
Scale.
one. It was the main character.
Yeah, that's like Star Trek. They're making the original Star Trek show, and William Shatner plays Captain Kirk. This is near the end of the show, so they're trying to throw Gene Roddenberry, the creator, out of the show, right? So he's trying to, guess what? Squeeze every dime out of it before it ends, right? So in the middle of this dinner scene, this woman looks over at Captain Kirk and says, "That's a lovely medallion you're wearing." And he goes, "It's an IDIC." And she goes, "What's an IDIC?" "Well, it means infinite diversities, infinite challenges, and it means that I excelled in bravery, blah, 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 blah." Right? And guess what? The next day, those were for sale through the mail order system, right? So Shatner goes and says, "I'm not doing this. I'm not selling your stupid pins." So they go to shoot the scene, and the woman looks over at Spock and goes, "That's a lovely pin you're wearing." And he goes, "It's an IDIC." And yeah, so
Wow.
Yeah, and you know what? Roddenberry probably made $100,000 off edicts through the years until like it's hard to describe. Like fandom woke up and realized, like you, we're being marketed to, children of TV land. You're being duped. That's exactly what it was. So, yeah, I bet you'll see a lot more of that in Paradox Space, where he's like, "Look, I need you to do 3 pages on these puzzles because I've got all these stupid puzzles to sell."
Bafflers.
Yeah.
They still make new bafflers. Just last year, they said there's more bafflers.
Yeah, well, you're baffled by the very existence of the bafflers.
And they keep making more, and nobody buys them.
All right, that leads me to a question for you.
Huh.
What is your least favorite piece of Homestuck merchandise?
Other than bafflers.
And then, right, bafflers is off the table because we all know they suck. What is your least favorite and then your favorite piece of Homestuck merchandise? So, go.
Ooh.
If I had to go at least favorite, maybe the Paradox Space crew T-shirt. I mean, I don't know why.
There's no reason for it.
There's no reason. It's just those extra staff T-shirts they have they're selling.
It'd
And
be like going to the We Love Fine booth and buying a We Love Fine shirt.
Yeah.
well,
Like you worked there.
it's like buying the size example T-shirts they
Yeah,
have on display.
Oh, the ones that just have this SLM on it.
There should be a new fashion trend to wear those.
You know what? We should ask those people next time. I've got a recorder on my phone now, so maybe we should interview them and go, does anybody ever grab like the S or the M or the L and go, what size is this? Because you know they do. You know that there are fanboys who are not paying attention. So you're saying the Paradox Space crew shirt.
Yeah, the
which
logo
which
tee.
which implies that if you wear that, you I work on the com. Funny you should ask. I work on Homestuck, and you don't.
It's like a PlayStation Home giveaway item.
It just says Paradox Space,
All
the logo.
black, and Paradox Space logo on the front. Nothing else on it.
And what does it cost?
It's like $20.
No,
oh,
it's
come
30,
on.
plus
30?
shipping.
It
It's
should
like-
be free.
I think it's 25 plus shipping, and pumpkin shipping
That should
is like
be
another
a
20.
giveaway at a con. That
Right,
should
the
be-
same way I looked at Ming from Comic Book Man
Oh,
and
yeah,
said,
yeah.
your autograph is $20. It should be free till we watch your stupid show. $30 for a shirt that should be thrown out for free at conventions. Should be free with purchase, man. Give me a break.
Buy a
Right.
baffler, get a free shirt.
Yeah, your least favorite?
My least favorite? Oh, some of the prints are really bad. They just take the most random art and stick it on a print.
Yeah, well, because it's easy. My favorite is you ever heard the term gicle? It's a limited edition gicle. You ever heard that?
No.
Giclee. You have any idea what that means?
No.
Talk about, I'm probably going to get this wrong, and somebody on Reddit will tear me to shreds, but this is what I understand it to be. That a gicle is a fancy word for it's made on a computer printer. Are you kidding me? Oh no, it's a gicle. Whatever. Oh my God. Yeah, and at Blockbuster, our tapes were previously viewed. You mean used? No, not used. Previously viewed.
The prints at least say they're prints, like they print them out. They
Yeah.
admit that on really
So-
nice cardstock.
But is there one in particular
The
you don't like?
stickers are bad.
The
They did
stickers?
stickers last year, just generic Homestuck stickers,
Yeah.
and they're like $10 a sheet.
Well, take it from me. I tried to make 91 Reasons stickers. Those things are expensive, man. Oh my God. I don't know how anybody gives out stickers. Because Geek Outlaw gives a bunch of stickers, and I'm like, these must cost him 50 cents a piece. I can't afford that. Oh my
They're
God.
not allowed at most cons.
No, they'll throw you right out for giving out stickers. And why?
Because everyone sticks them everywhere.
Because if you don't pay for that sticker, you don't have any worth to it. They take it and stick it right in the toilet. Not the toilet, the wall of the toilet. So the wall of any con toilet has like 30 different movie
Yeah,
promotions on it, websites.
Kamikaze had a lot of that because unlike San Diego and WonderCon, which are ran by the same people, they've actually banned stickers from all their cons.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, I was giving out Not Scary Farm stickers one year, and one guy was like, "You're gonna get fined 10 grand," and I was like, "Not me, dude. It would be the place I work for, and I'm sure they looked it up before they gave me these stupid stickers."
But like I went to
And then he was like, "Can I have a sticker?"
then you go to Kamikaze and they don't have that in effect, so it's a lot of stickers in the bathrooms.
Yeah, that's bizarre to me. That's totally bizarre to me. My least favorite item would be the exclusive shirt.
Yeah, that might be it.
Why did they waste on that
WonderCon one?
stupid, ugly
It was
design?
like a really bad green, and they just had a Smuppet on it. It said
Yeah.
WonderCon.
Yeah.
That was it. There was no character.
I got so excited for WonderCon because I'm
Anime
like
Expo
an
was just as
exclusive
bad.
T-shirt.
I went to Anime Expo, and they had an exclusive tee. It was just a picture of Mino, and it said Anime Expo.
The exclusive
You
shirt
gotta
should be.
theme it to the con.
Yes, it should be. For WonderCon,
Yeah.
it should be
There was one.
Vriska or Carquette standing in front of the Anaheim Convention
Uh-huh.
Center. That's what you do.
There was one. Emerald City Con had a shirt that was done by Shelby, the canon artist, and it was Calliope and Jade at the Emerald City from Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, that's
that actually
perfect.
fit the con.
That's what you want.
And it was by a well-known artist in the fan.
The only wonder part of that shirt was wonder if anybody bought it, and the answer was no.
I really wanted that Calliope Jade one too because I felt kind of jealous. Like, not only did they get a really cool T-shirt, but there was this personalized towards them.
I would also have a tie for worst item with that little Cal backpack thing.
No, I
only
like
because yes, it looks just like the design.
It's perfect.
And the reason I hate it is because it looks just like the design. That is an ugly. It reminds me of that thing from Goosebumps. That stupid puppet thing. It's so ugly.
Little Cal.
I love
Oh.
It's supposed to be a Pee-wee doll.
Oh, it's terrible.
There's
Like
a picture of Hussey as a kid, and he's holding one of those Pee-wee dolls. And we
Pee-wee
assume-
or Billy Baloney.
The Pee-wee doll, the talking Pee-wee doll.
Talking Pee-wee.
There's a picture of Hussey as a kid with one of those, and he looks really scared. So we assume he got Cal from his own childhood.
Well,
And it's mixed with the Saw doll.
mission accomplished. It's terrifying.
I would get one if they want $50 at every con.
Yeah, well, they were on sale. I think one
Yeah, I
year
think they're like 30.
on Sunday they were on sale. The please buy something before we pack it up sale, which is great if you could hang on till Sunday, which we can because we're stuck there. So let me ask you, favorite piece of Homestuck merchandise?
Ooh.
Favorite piece.
Can we pick something we don't know?
I like the plushies.
Oh yeah, something you don't own is fine. It just has to be something you've seen.
Yeah, I like the plushies, the consort plushies.
Okay.
And what is that?
Every kid in the game has their land, and each land has like inhabitants. Like John's land has salamanders living on it, and Rose's has turtles living on it, and they made full-size plushies of all of them, all 4 of them.
For me, I'd pick the piece of merchandise that I really want to get when I see them, and I'm only gonna have one chance to buy them because Wheel of Fine does not carry them. They're very expensive online. At cons, they're literally 1/4 of the price and go on sale Sunday, which is ridiculous. I saw their high price point. I thought they were really tiny, and I felt kind of disappointed. At a con, not only were they 1/4 of the price, but they were triple the size I thought they were, and really cool looking. And I would have to go with the action figures. The vinyl figures are so cool looking. And I actually figured out why online they didn't look very good. The ones online are very, very early prototypes. It's like if Hasbro used their Toy Fair pixels for their August release in August, you know? The ones online, John's head isn't even the same. The sculpts are entirely different.
The pictures online, John looks really bad.
I can't believe you've never purchased one of those because by the end of the con they're like $12 or $14 a piece versus what, 35 or 40 online.
35 plus shipping.
I don't understand. Why wouldn't you? You've never bought one.
Nope.
You get suckered into buying some other junk.
Too much of a buy-in for a figure.
Well,
at least the plushie I was gonna carry around with me. A figure's just gonna sit on my shelf.
I'm gonna get one of the figures next con I go.
Last time I was
but he's wasted his money on a calendar.
Yeah.
Like a $15 calendar.
The last time I was at a con by What Pumpkin, I got something that I figured was better than the figures, and that was the books. I bought all 3 books.
Oh yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with getting the actual item. That you're never going to be faulted for that.
I want the Problem Sleuth books next. Those are like $90 for the box set.
But they don't sell them at any
books.
con.
They had them at Anime Expo last year.
Really?
Yeah.
What Pumpkin bought the Prom?
It was yeah.
Oh.
They bring them everywhere.
Now, you know that guy at every con, he has... We like him and hate him at the same time because he has good merchandise, but he's not a fan of anything except money. And that's the guy with all the animal hats and the Minecraft plush.
And now Catbug.
Yeah. Now, do you ever want to walk by and see him going, candy corn horns, 2 for $20, 2 for $20, candy corn horns, 2 for $20? Like, would your soul die, or would you go, I'm gonna buy them?
You know what?
Would you make a deal with the devil? Is what I'm asking.
Every year I joke about that. Last WonderCon, when the sellout was in full effect, when the Wheel of Fine contest was going on, and Hussey announced Hot Topic will be getting a T-sort, and at the time we thought we were going to get a lot more. We were at WonderCon, and I'm like, Luke, look at all those Creepo and Catbug plusies. Callcat's going to be right there next to them all.
That could happen.
It still could happen.
Well, sure it could happen because it's not a huge leap from that stupid creeper, which is like a big green block with feet, to go to a little blobby block with feet. I mean, it's the same basic pattern, right? Your whole generation seems to be obsessed with things that look like they were created in 1986, and I can't figure that out for the life of me.
The entirety of Homestuck is a vintage text-based adventure.
Oh, no doubt.
He's making Highswap low poly on purpose.
He's what?
Highswap is low poly on purpose.
Oh yeah, of course it is.
And from what we can tell, all the locations are pre-rendered, so it looks like an old point-and-click game. It looks like
Freddy Fish.
No, more like Monkey Island or Broken Sword.
Or
and
Maniac Mansion. It owes more to Maniac Mansion and Monkey Island than it does anything else. Mm-hmm. Did you see that crazy guy who made Monkey Island and Maniac Mansion screaming about Gamergate at something with a puppet on his... I don't know his name, but he was screaming about Gamergate with a puppet on his hand. I'm like, why would that guy weigh in on a huge topic like that? I wouldn't get involved in that. Picking sides and all. I don't. It's crazy.
Boast Rider. It out.
Notice,
Game Bro here.
Yeah. Notice neither of you mentioned the hug pillow on eBay that we talked about for like a half an hour.
Oh, Jake pillow.
The Jake English hug body pillow with his ass cheeks hanging out, his coin slot.
Oh, we still gotta go on about this.
And his blushing look. We're spiraling down into it again. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna buy each of you one for like a holiday, like a stupid holiday. I'll be like, Happy Arbor Day, guys! I got you these Jake English body pillows.
You can get them for like a penny on eBay in wholesale. I don't know why. I've been checking Etsy for anything new. I haven't checked in a while. We should go check because they keep refreshing new stuff on there.
Yeah.
Bracelets, horns,
Now,
necklace.
there's a new thing that keeps getting bumped up. This is a full print of a Gamzee cosplayer you can get.
A print of a cosplayer or cosplay?
It's a cosplayer dressed as Gamzee.
A picture of him or the cosplay?
Picture of them.
Why would I
picture
want
of
that? Why would I want that? I don't understand.
It's a Gamzee cosplay print. Go on Etsy right now.
No,
You
I
can
don't.
go-
I believe you. There's no need to look it up. That's like saying there's a car wreck if you want to see that. I'm good. I don't. No, go look at the dead body. Why would I want to?
You don't want a Gamzee.
A picture of a guy dressed, and that's what you're
You
buying.
can buy the picture.
That's me banging my head.
And,
That's me banging my head
it's
against the
a,
wall.
what was the term you used
What was it? Which one?
when certain type of print has a fancy name?
It's not a print. It's a giclée. It's
It
a
might be a
giclée.
giclée.
I made this on my Epson stylus printer. It's a giclée. And I took a long time unused photo paper. Come on, give me a
They
break.
edited it in MS Paint.
Well, then it looks just like the webcomic. Then who is he dressed as?
Gamzee.
You're staring at a.
You're staring at a print of a man dressed as Gamzee. Do you walk into the kitchen?
Like, come on. And look at the look on your face, Austin, is like you considered buying it. I can tell. Your hard-earned hat money going to waste
Yeah.
on a Gamzee print.
Yes.
And Luna's like, you mean like the costume? No, a guy wearing the costume. You know what that's like? That's like, hey, I got you dessert. It's a picture of a candy bar. And you're like, you shouldn't. Wow, this is a really good picture of a Hershey bar. You know, guess that guy probably listens to the show and we've just insulted his whole business. We're sorry. You know what? I'm sure you're making a lot of money selling
I
that
like
print.
the
It's
product.
not
I
for
don't
me.
mind it.
Austin wants to buy it, so if you look back on a few of our episodes, we gave our address out. If you'd like to send us a free print, we will change our mind and we will like you.
Look, I'm gonna say it right now. I'm shocked that Homestuck cosplay prints aren't more of a thing, you know, with how popular cosplay is and how many photo shoots people do. Seriously, people do.
It's easy to print things out. You don't need to pay someone to print
It's
things
called
out.
right click save, Austin. And then you go, I just bought your print for free.
But how come nobody decides to take their fancy DOS AU cosplay, whatever, 4 chords up there
I could see, like, if
and
you-
put it on cardstock?
If you paid for that guy dressed as the robot. Because that costume looked like it took 2 hours to put on. But, like, remember that girl dressed as, what was her name, with all the white makeup and... Roxy. Like, by the time we got to her, her makeup was peeling. I've mentioned this before. Like, you'd have to get a picture, like, immediately.
Yeah.
Would you like
touch-ups right there?
Would you like a poster of something like that?
I don't know. Probably not.
I don't know why you need a poster of a real person like that. It's-
I don't know. When there's the character or
the
good
prints are
art.
Better. I don't like the prints, but they're better than that.
Describe the photo cube you have.
This, okay, you know what?
Describe
Suddenly, cosplay prints are thrown out the window, fan art prints are thrown out the window, comic prints are thrown out the
all
window
about
because
cubes.
I have the most canon piece of Homestuck merchandise.
You know those-
It is.
It's one of those cubes where all 6 of the sides you can slide in your own photo.
It's like a Rubik's cube of your family.
Yeah, you're supposed to put your family in it, and it's a bank. And you put it in. Every time you look at it, you see a new picture of your family. You can turn
Yeah,
the
you
Rubik's
turn it
Cube.
over to a new picture each time.
I have decided to print out pictures of Andrew Hussey and put one in every slot.
It's 3 of Andrew and 3 of Sweet Bro. Or Hella
Yeah.
Jeff. It's 3 Ella Jeffs and 3 Hussies.
So every time I put a coin in that bank, you know,
And it's disgusted by the bread too. It's not even a good picture of Hussy.
No, it's the one we all like where he's completely disgusted by the canned bread.
why do those images exist and why are they so common to find?
Well, you've got him printed out in a cube.
Yeah.
A cube. Can you put pictures on Reddit? Can you link to pictures?
You can link to Imgur.
You should link your picture of your Hussy bread cube
How would I take an image of it?
With a
with
camera.
a camera and a
Oh.
giclée maker. What?
What?
Go ahead.
But
It's
I
your show. I have no direction
I need
here.
to
You
find
guys.
that picture of Hussy's yearbook. He put it on Twitter and then deleted it within a few minutes.
Why don't you just look up where he went and buy the yearbook? You could have a Hussy yearbook. They sell them on eBay all the time.
And I sort of agree with Luna that I don't know if I would actually hang cosplay pictures on my wall or even the prints. I'd like to have just the most canon images. for the comic.
Let's see. We're sitting in my office doing this show. I have cosplay on the wall. I have Jewel Marceau as Prism. I have your mom dressed in costumes. I have Leanna Vamp. So there is a market. There is a market.
Yeah.
I just don't know if like
Gamzee. was it God tier Gamzee?
No, it's
No, so you don't even get the cod piece?
No, it's just Gamzee. He's out doing. It's a full HD pixel
No.
like a field.
cod piece or get out.
I'm surprised nobody sells it as like a full print of a god tier Gamzee.
I like that one where it's a cod piece and there's that little 4-year-old kid staring at it. It's the greatest picture ever.
We used to bring up Etsy right now. Come on.
Why?
Which the show's almost over. Next show.
Okay,
We
fine.
don't have time now.
Next show. But I'm surprised he doesn't sell prints of the actual comic. He just buys fan art.
No. There's very few prints that are canon
Like-
images.
If he had that image of Rose writing on her computer with the Lord English cloak flying behind her, I would want that as a print. That is one of the coolest scenes of the comic.
No one likes that. It's Huss Nasty. He's not supposed to talk about that anymore.
That
The
is.
fans hated him for it. He promised never to speak
Yeah,
of it again or ever use it
But
again.
even some of the hero mode shots I find just beautiful.
You can get some of the Cascade art, I think.
But
Well, they're old, so I don't know if they're still on the site.
oh, but not just the
And
Cascade.
the album prints are on there too. You
But
get Medium and
I
Strife.
don't want. I want Hadron Collido.
Hadron Collider.
I'm sure they don't make that.
Hadron Collider one.
But the thing is, even the Cascade art, nothing else in the comic looks like that. Hussey didn't decide to go with that art. When we see the realistic Zamag-looking art that's not by Zamag later on in Game Over, it's solid colors.
That's Zach's art.
Zach's art. But he's
Very
decided to...
novel.
Only Cascade did he take that thing, where he did Zamag full
Very
realistic
natural.
art.
Yeah.
Now, even though he does fancy realistic art, he likes sticking to pure colors, rather than do blends.
Yeah. All the art is aliased. It's all solid paint bucket stuff.
And that's because he likes that. We've seen
Because
that.
it's easy to edit.
And in the last
Because
episode,
you
we
can
talked
make panels
about...
just by drag, click, done.
Yeah. Update done.
So let's end on Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff and say that Owen Wilson today, March 10th, walked the Paris runway at a fashion show in character from Zoolander 2
Why?
With Ben Stiller?
with Ben Stiller. Zoolander, obviously,
With Ben Stiller.
Zoolander, the 2001 comedy cult classic. You know why Zoolander is a cult classic? Because it came out at the same time as 9/11. So nobody went to see it in the theater. They only found it on home video on DVD. So there he is. Sweet Bro. Which one is he?
Yeah, that's Hella Jeff.
Hella Jeff.
That's Sweet Bro right next to him.
Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff today appeared in character as Derek Zoolander and Hansel, or more importantly, Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff
Bro and Hella
today.
Jeff.
Let's hear it.
Together.
There they are.
They deserve to walk down that one way.
So, if you're thinking about buying a picture of anybody in cosplay, I would suggest Owen Wilson. Yeah,
What will
man.
it take to get them to dress up like Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff and fall down some stairs?
A couple of beers. I would say a couple of beers. The fun thing would be to meet them and ask them if they're even aware of it.
Betty Crocker is. Dante Basco
Yeah.
is.
Dante Basco, who you sleep on every night, right?
Oh, I do have a Rufio. I have a hook pillow with Rufio on it.
Yeah. Oh, you dream with Dante Basco.
Riding
is-
that
what is his
Freddy
song
Story
called?
Dragon, vomiting on bullies.
Creeping up or something?
Geeking out.
Geeking out. Can you sing a few bars?
How does it go?
It was,
Geeking out.
Geeking out. Geeking
There's
out.
not much of a tune to it. It's just more like,
It's just
I'm
him-
geeking
it's
out.
him geeking out.
It is what it is.
That character's chasing him down alleyways.
Are there posters of any of those people that I can buy? Because those were good cosplayers.
Those are all. We hung out with most of those people. At
I
WonderCon.
met most people in that
he
video.
Just picked those, he did an application on his Tumblr, and just anyone in Southern California cosplays Homestuck come down.
So
do
why
a
weren't
thing.
you there?
Because you need full professional.
You need a
cosplay.
portfolio and everything.
You need a portfolio of yourself with high definition images of you in your cosplay with full paint and
You
everything.
have to send a G-Clay to him.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, well, let's wrap it up.
Hey, I haven't even done the gray paint. I'm not qualified.
You're going to do the gray paint very soon, and we will have photographic proof to put on our pages. So, any last words on to this week's episode? Episode What, 15?
15.
15. Wow.
I do have one last thing to say. What do I use as a sealer for the paint? I have no idea.
All
I want
right.
to get Snazzaloo.
If you have any tips on Austin's gray paint project, where he's going to bathe in gray paint, but he needs it to last, what does he use to set that gray makeup? I ask the people of Reddit.
Blood of his enemies.
That's right. You bathe in, yes, to see your enemies driven before you and to hear the lamentations of the women. No?
What?
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
No.
You uncultured swine. It's Conan. Not O'Brien.
Conan.
O'Brien or Schwarzenegger?
The Barbarian. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm a big fan of Homestuck.
Is he really?
No.
I love Vriska.
I don't think he's ever even been mentioned. Like, he's not a Homestuck character at all.
No.
No.
Arnold
He was remember that game he used to play? It was an education game where he was a weightlifting rabbit. Welcome to the weight workout. What was that game he used to play? Remember that? Long time ago.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Luna grew up on some of the worst computer point-and-click games ever. Freddy
I used
Fish,
to watch him play
Phantom
all
Menace,
I Spy.
I
Do you
Spy.
think High Swap will
Those
bring
are all
back
on
some
Steam.
memories?
You can buy those games still.
Wasn't there one that was a secret agent guy?
It was a fox.
There's a Fox. I
That-
only had
oh
the
my
demo
God,
for
that's
it.
right.
And Pajam
I
Man
only
Sam.
ever had the demo for those because they were on the Freddy Fish game.
Well, you should buy them all.
Put
Do you-
the car.
Do you think High Swap's gonna remind you of those days?
I don't know.
We already have too many bunches of those berries.
No.
Bear in the Big Blue House, man. Come on.
I like the Play-Doh game.
Yeah, oh, that was a fun game,
The
yeah.
Jigsaw game.
Oh no, I hated that Jigsaw
Jar
game.
Jar's Adventure.
You
Huh?
couldn't redo the puzzles.
Wow, these are
Jar
some crappy
Jar's
games.
Adventure.
See, Jar
Here's
Jar's
the thing. You laugh at these games and the archaic nature of them, but that's Hive Swap.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
point-and-click game, so it's going to be really nostalgic for you. And for all of you out there in podcast land, which we have listeners around the world. Thank you all for listening. All right, let's wrap it up. Any last words? This is it.
we hope Hive Swap's for the best.
We do.
Yeah,
we can hope.
Well, hey, these episodes every week are marching us closer and closer to the game. Closer
I like
and
a
closer.
trailer. We'll probably get that on the 13th.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Yeah.
But it's about gameplay. Nothing matters until gameplay. Have you ever seen the gameplay video they released for one of those alien games? Where the alien just sort of bops and walks by. It's so bad. Crack just did an article, and I was like, I cannot believe that's a real game.
Every alien game ever is the worst alien
yeah.
game
Well, I
ever.
heard the new one's pretty good.
The newest
Isolation?
one is supposed to be okay.
Yeah.
Better than the Marine one that was terrible.
Yeah, well, you know, some properties just don't make games.
But you're excited for Hive Swap, and it'll probably have a capture log system.
Oh, God. I can't wait to put an object in my capture log and have another object fall out over and over again.
But you have to weaponize your Silodex.
Oh.
If you aim it right when it flies out, you can hit the enemies.
What are you... no, please.
You haven't gotten to that act yet. You're still in Act 1.
Right. We're going to
Gotta
watch Act 2
weaponize
soon.
the Silodex.
Vriska wants us to watch the whole thing, and they're willing to keep funding us on Patreon. If you'd like to control the show, you could go to our Patreon page, 91 Reasons on Patreon, patreon.com. You can pledge $35 and tell us what you want, and we'll make it happen. That's what we do. We are cheap. We can be bought, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we can. So, thanks for listening to 91 Reasons. Let's do the roundabout. I am the voice of 91 Reasons. I am Jeff Tucker.
I'm Austin.
I'm Luna.
And we like to gather with you every week around the digital campfire, warm our hands, and tell the tales of Homestuck and Hive Swap and Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff. And who else? Anybody else? Betty
Bard
Crocker,
Quest.
Bard Quest, and Problem Sleuth, and the Midnight Crew.
Yeah.
And if the Midnight Crew were real, if they blinked into existence, the one podcast they would listen to would be called what? 91 Reasons.
Thanks for listening. By Gramthar's Hammer. We'll be back with another episode. Live long and prosper. May the force be with you. So say we all. Hey, hey, hey.